Discrimination claims that can be brought against your employer. Your employer must follow Equality Act 2010 if you work in England, Scotland and Wales. This law applies to 9 types of characteristics known as protected characteristics. They are as follows: age, disability, gender reassignment, marriage and civil partnership, pregnancy and maternity, race, religion or belief, sex or gender, and sexual orientation. However, in the current circumstances, the most relevant are sex, disability, and pregnancy and maternity. If you have a disability within the meaning of Equality Act 2010, this is likely to place you in the vulnerable or extremely vulnerable groups. If you are disabled, your employer has a legal duty under the law to make reasonable adjustments to your working arrangements. In order to qualify for protection, your employer must have knowledge of your disability. The following protections are available under the Equality Act 2010. Protection from direct discrimination. If you are treated less favorably simply because you have disability or you are pregnant, that would be direct discrimination. Discrimination arising out of a disability. If you are treated less favorably as a result of something which happened because of your disability, for example, you do not turn up to work and you are dismissed for not turning up to work. Here, you are not being dismissed for disability, which may be the reason for you not to turn up to work. For example, you could not get out of the bed because of the string bout of some illness. The next one is indirect discrimination, where your employer employs some general rule at work and that rule affects you because you have disability and cannot follow the rule just like other people who are not disabled. It will be indirect discrimination. You are not being discriminated against because of your disability, but because of some practice which is putting you at disadvantage. Next is failure to make reasonable adjustments. This is when you need some change to your workplace or practice because of your disability. For example, you may need higher chair or lower desk. Harassment. Harassment takes place when you are subjected to a degrading, intimidating and hostile treatment because of one of your protected characteristics. For example, you ask for ergonomic chair and you are subjected to offensive language about your disability. If harassment is not related to or because of one of the 9 protected characteristics, then you cannot claim harassment in employment tribunals. It's only when it is related to those 9 protected characteristics. This also does not mean that you cannot claim at all. You can claim general harassment in the county court. Next point is victimization. Victimization takes place when you are subjected to harmful treatment because you have raised your rights under the Equality Act 2010. For example, you tell your manager that you are being discriminated against and you are then dismissed for raising that complaint. This will be victimization. And finally, discrimination by association. Discrimination because you are associated with someone who has a disability or related to someone who has one of those protected characteristics and you are discriminated against because of that association, that link with that person. General advice here for what should the employers do. Employers should be mindful of the particular needs of different groups of individuals and should take the following steps. First, understand and take into account the particular circumstances of those with protected characteristics. Involve and communicate with workers. Consider whether any particular adjustments should be made or any particular measure should be taken. Make reasonable adjustments to avoid disabled workers being put at some disadvantage. Assess the health and safety risks for pregnant employees. This is a brief overview of discrimination claims. We will put on detailed and informative videos in relation to the individual claims of discrimination, unfair dismissal, harassment, etc. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to have regular updates on a range of employment law issues. See you in our next video.